Hey, my friends, Andy Kennedy, Inner Self Lightworks, in the magic of the forest right now. I want to give you a view of where I am. Oh my goodness. It's 11:11. Thank you to all our veterans. Thank you to all of our animal friends and ancestors and spirit guides. Look at this beautiful trail. This is the Windy Ridge Trail. We're not going to hike the whole thing today because I am breaking trail. But it's not very deep once we get on the trail. And it's hunting season, so I have my orange on, but I have my bunny hat on. Thank you, Lori, for my bunny hat. We've got bald eagle with us in the crystals. And we have our friend John, who just walked into the afterlife yesterday. And we have all of our animal guides here too. Tons of birds. I've already seen a couple tracks, deer and rabbit. So I'm excited to see what other magic we see today. So I'll see you in a bit. Coming up on a pair of tracks. Looks like a young elk or a deer. Fresh, whoever it was just here, or here sometime this morning. So we're not alone. There are my big tracks. I'll show you theirs again. Just coming to the trail right here. You know what I love about this trail right now? I said I'm never here in the wintertime, but yet the trail is so clear. It's maintained by the Forest Service, so in the summer they clear out debris, and you can really tell where the trail is. It's pretty awesome. So I don't feel like I'm lost. Of course, I can always follow my own big fat snowshoe tracks back, but listen to how quiet it is in here. Nothing but the sound of my own breath. Magic. Alright, I just want to show you. You can see we are coming out of the woods here. And one of the practices that I teach, that I've learned from my favorite guru, James Redfield, Celestine community, is that you follow luminosity for the synchronicities. So all throughout the trail so far, I've been following luminosity. Sure enough, it's been getting lighter and lighter and brighter. And that's where we came from. And there's the meadow. And again, this is the Windy Ridge Trail. Oh, what was that? Can you see that off in the distance? No, we're not hiking that far today. Let's see if I can zoom in on this glory for you. Yes. Hello, friends. I had no idea I would be coming up here today. Hey, so I want to talk about how I wound up here today. Last night, I was really processing the death of a friend, and I knew I was for 11:11. I knew I was going to come into the woods today. I just didn't know where. And the last few times I've come into the woods, I felt like that. I've kind of left it open, as you know, as I'm filming the Into the Woods series. And I did have a vision of this place today. The entrance is called Buffalo Park, and it's a Native American hotspot. The trail is protected. It goes all the way to Windy Ridge, which I'm going to venture a little ways down into the valley, at least to just see the valley and be in the sunshine for a bit. but I'll probably not go all the way to Windy Ridge, which at the top of is the quartzite quarry, where the Ute tribe would harvest, or mine, not really, their tools. And so in the summertime, the whole trail in is a absolutely magical trail filled with arrowheads, and it's snowing. Thank you. It's blue sky, so I don't know where all of that snow just came from, but there are a few clouds up there. So I love coming up here, but I typically only come up here once every few years. And the last few times I've come up here, it's been with my Manifesting with Synchronicity class, which I used to teach in person, and we just finished a round of online. So it's apropos that I'm up here. Like I said, I had a little glimpse of it last night, but this morning I didn't have any idea where I was going to go. I just knew I was going to get in the car and maybe come up here. I thought actually this would be impassable. I thought the road wouldn't be something I could drive down in my RAV4. But it was already paved, or somebody had already broken the trail. Hunters obviously probably had already broken the trail, because it looked like big trucks, and so it was awesome. I could drive right into the not quite into the parking area, but into the spot, the trailhead spot. And because I hadn't been up here in a few years, even at the beginning of the trail, I was skeptical that I would find the trail, because I'm, not 100% familiar with it in the wintertime. I'm not at all familiar with it in the wintertime, and not 100% familiar with it lately. And what's funny is, back to what I was going to talk about, is one of the concepts of synchronicity and following synchronicity and manifesting with synchronicity is following luminosity. And so, for one, I called upon my guides. I'm doing Mike Dooley's 21 Days of Angels, Guardian Angels, and have been working just over the last 2 days with my angels and spirits, and inviting them in to come into this place with me, as well as my dear friend who stepped into the afterlife last night, who's never been on this trail, so I know he's here with me today. The spirits are speaking. There goes the wind. I feel like I'm in a snow globe. It's awesome. Literally, it's blue sky, but I'm in the middle of this snow globe right now. I don't know if you can see down there, but yeah, the snow's picking up. So back to following luminosity, there were several points on the trail where I didn't know which way the trail went, and if I just centered myself and let go and stopped analytical mind from popping in and saying, no, that's not right, because that's what analytical mind does, and just feeling into your heart space and your own knowledge and the Native American energy that's up here, which to me, whenever I think of my Native American guides and history and ancestors and past lives, I think of tracking. It's one of the biggest things I think of. Of course, I think of crystals and cloud busting and animals and animal spirits and dance and drumming and all the things that you think of, right, when you think of Native Americans. In Steamboat, you also think of hot springs, because that's why they came here. We're for the healing grounds and the magic that was here. Of course, the buffalo that were here as well, which this is Buffalo Park. So, back to the luminosity. When the trail split, I just centered, and I asked, is this right? And then I asked, is this right? Either way. And sure enough, the snow would fall, or the light would glisten, or I'd see something that I thought was deer, which I've seen multiple tracks of deer. I also did a meditation last night, one of my oldest meditations, visualizations that I recorded probably over 10 years ago, called Mountain Animal Meditation. I did that last night, and deer came up for me. So, of course, I feel very connected to deer today. Deer is in my totem. Anyway, so deer is kind of always with me. But
You follow luminosity. And you don't have to do that just in the woods when you're lost or there's a trail that you're not following, right? You can do that with every synchronicity, with every question, with every fork in the road. So right now, we're probably, the majority of the world is at a fork in the road with your career, with the place you live, with your life in some way, with politics, right? With your health maybe. And you can call in your angels and source energy, and whether for you that is actually prayer or it's intention and hope, right? Grace. Then you call that in, and the trail, the path, the decision is illuminated somehow. We all have that light within us, and I don't know. I kind of believe that light is projected, right? It's co-created even with spirit, with this beautiful place that I'm in right now. So it wasn't hard for me to find this trail, continue on this trail, get to this point, this apex in the trail. This, other than the place that's, like I said, the quartzite quarry that the natives used, which is like in that direction, and it's it's the highest peak up here. I mean, not totally, but in this section of Rabbit Ears Pass of Routt County, of Steamboat Springs. Actually, I think right now we're even in Grand County. But I don't know, semantics, right? So this spot, though, is kind of, for me, the apex. You wander through the woods, you leave your car, you wander through the woods, and you come here, and it's the gateway. And today, and I've talked about gateways before. I talked about gateways on 10/10, recorded a little video about gateways on October 10th, and then talked about gateway last week when I went into the woods, into my magic space. And I still have a video to share with you that I haven't yet on fairies and elementals and how to find them, but I'll post that after this one because this one's pretty magical. And I'm excited to be sharing videos with all of you guys because for me this feels the most authentic way to just talk about these things that we don't talk about, or I should say in my circles we do, but in public, in the general public, we don't, but yet everybody knows about the magic. You ask a child if there's magic, if they're spirit guides, if they have angels, and they say yes. And at some point in our life, we lose that because of analytical mind, because of our conditioning, and because of the belief systems of generation past that our generations are breaking through, breaking down. And so it's time to talk about this stuff and to bring it to the foreground in order to make the world a more magical place. So that's what I wanted to say to you guys today about 1111 and the magical place and ancestors and tapping into your ancestors and past lives. Again, I have a huge connection to this valley because I've always felt like from the day one that I had been here before, and so therefore I use all sorts of tools to connect with my Native American friends, ancestors, history, beliefs, etc., including bringing bald eagle and the crystals in with me, as well as rabbit, and just calling upon my guide, who, by the way, was one of the best Native American trackers of all time. And you can figure out who she is. She's got her image, her face, on a gold coin. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.